My journey through the complicated world of love and heartbreak began in grade 10, a time of innocence and big dreams. I fell into my first monogamous relationship believing it was the kind of love story that would last forever. Every shared glance, every whispered secret felt like a promise etched in stone. He was my first everything, and in the naive corridors of my teenage heart I had already planned our entire future together. When it ended, the world I had so carefully built crumbled into dust. The pain was more than just sadness, it was a profound sense of loss that seemed to cling to every part of my life, a shadow I couldn't outrun. It was a heartbreak that felt final and absolute. The process of moving on was not a sprint but a long, grueling marathon that stretched over many years. I carried the weight of that first breakup through the rest of high school and into my early college days. Every new person I met was unfairly measured against the ghost of that first love. I replayed our memories, dissected every conversation, and wondered where it all went wrong, searching for answers that were never going to come. It was a heavy burden for a young heart to bear, and it taught me that letting go is often a slow, painful, and non-linear process. The experience was a lesson in how deeply we can attach ourselves to an idea of someone, making the separation feel like losing a part of ourselves. Even as time passed, the echoes of that relationship lingered, influencing my perceptions and coloring my expectations. I found it difficult to trust again, to open myself up to the possibility of being vulnerable with someone new. The fear of experiencing that same debilitating pain kept my heart guarded, locked away behind walls I had carefully constructed. Friends would tell me to move on, but their words felt distant and hollow. They couldn't understand the depth of my attachment or the slow, painstaking effort it took to untangle my identity from that shared past. It was a silent battle I fought every day, a testament to the powerful imprint a first love can leave on one's soul. Looking back now, I see that this extended period of grieving was a necessary, albeit difficult, part of my growth. It taught me about the intensity of my own emotions, and the resilience I never knew I possessed. While the pain was immense, it also carved out a space within me for deeper understanding and empathy. It forced me to learn how to be alone with my thoughts, how to find comfort in my own company, and how to slowly, piece by piece, rebuild my world. That first heartbreak, as devastating as it was, became the foundational chapter in my story of learning how to heal, even if it took years to turn the page. After years spent healing from my first relationship, I cautiously stepped back into the world of dating, hoping for a fresh start. My next relationship felt different from the beginning. It was exciting and intense. However, I soon discovered a shocking and painful truth. I was unknowingly part of a bigamous relationship. The man I was giving my time and affection to was living a double life, a fact he had carefully concealed. The initial rush of feelings quickly soured into confusion, betrayal, and a deep sense of disbelief. How could someone look you in the eyes and build a connection based on such a monumental lie? The discovery was a harsh awakening to the reality that not everyone loves with an honest heart. Unlike my first breakup, which had left me shattered for years, the end of this relationship was surprisingly swift. The moment the deception came to light, something inside me switched. The feelings I thought were real evaporated almost instantly, replaced by a clear-headed sense of self-preservation. There was no room for sorrow or longing when the entire foundation of the relationship was a fraud. It was as if a light had been turned on in a dark room, revealing that what I thought was a beautiful masterpiece was actually a cheap imitation. The heartbreak was sharp but clean, a quick cut rather than a lingering ache. It was a lesson in emotional detachment. The experience, though painful, was incredibly clarifying. It taught me that my emotional response was directly tied to the sincerity of the connection. My first love was real, which is why the loss felt so profound and took so long to overcome. This second experience, however, was built on a lie, and once that lie was exposed, there was nothing left to mourn. I wasn't grieving the loss of a person, I was letting go of a character he had played. This realization was empowering. It showed me that I had the strength to walk away from something that was not genuine, without looking back and without questioning my worth. This chapter of my life reinforced the importance of trusting my intuition. There were subtle signs and inconsistencies that I had previously dismissed, choosing to believe in the fantasy he presented. The breakup taught me to pay closer attention to those red flags, to listen to the quiet voice inside that warns you when something isn't right. Moving on so quickly wasn't a sign of being cold or unfeeling, it was an act of self-respect. I learned that my heart deserved honesty, and I would no longer settle for anything less. It was a painful but necessary lesson in guarding my peace and valuing truth above all else. My third significant relationship began under the shadow of a life-altering challenge, a thyroid cancer diagnosis. Just as I was navigating the complexities of a new connection, I was also confronting my own mortality. The whirlwind of doctor's appointments, frightening test results, and the looming reality of surgery changed everything. My perspective on life and consequently on love began to shift dramatically. Suddenly, the small, everyday dramas of a relationship seemed insignificant compared to the fight for my health. This personal crisis became an unexpected lens through which I viewed the world, filtering out the noise and focusing on what truly mattered. It was a time of immense fear, but also of incredible clarity. During this period, I realized that I needed a partner who could offer genuine support, empathy, and stability, not someone who would add to my emotional burden. Unfortunately, the relationship could not withstand the pressure of my illness. The experience of going through surgeries and recovery was profoundly isolating, and it highlighted the gaps in the support I was receiving. I discovered that facing a serious health battle requires you to draw on your own inner strength more than you ever thought possible. Love, I learned, shouldn't be another struggle to endure. It should be a safe harbor in the storm. When it wasn't, I knew I had to let it go. The illness and the subsequent breakup forced me to turn inward and redefine my relationship with myself. As I healed physically from the surgeries, I also began to heal emotionally from past wounds in a much deeper way. I saw my body not as something flawed, but as something incredibly resilient and strong for carrying me through such a battle. My scars became symbols of survival, not imperfection. This newfound appreciation for my own strength and perseverance changed the way I saw love. I no longer looked for someone to complete me. I was already whole, a survivor who had faced one of life's greatest fears and emerged stronger on the other side. This period of my life was a crucible that forged a new version of me. It taught me that the most important relationship I will ever have is the one I have with myself. The love and validation I had once sought from others, I was now learning to give to myself. The crisis stripped away my desire for frivolous connections and replaced it with a deep-seated need for authenticity and peace. My health journey, intertwined with the end of that relationship, became the ultimate catalyst for my growth. It was a painful path, but it led me to a place of profound self-love and acceptance. After navigating the turbulent waters of heartbreak, deception, and a serious health crisis, I made a conscious and deliberate decision. I would remain single until I graduated from college. This wasn't a choice born out of fear or bitterness, but one of profound self-awareness and a desire for focused growth. I recognized that I needed time and space to fully heal, to process the lessons from my past, and to build a solid foundation for my future without the distractions of a romantic relationship. My priority became my education, my well-being, and my personal development. It was an act of reclaiming my time and energy for myself, a promise to honor my own journey first. This period of intentional singlehood was one of the most transformative times of my life. I poured my energy into my studies, my friendships, and my passions. I learned to recognize red flags with greater clarity, understanding that past patterns were valuable teachers. The experience with bigamy taught me to value transparency, while my health scare taught me the importance of true, unconditional support. I developed a mental checklist of not just what to avoid, but also what to look for, the green flags of kindness, consistency, and emotional maturity. I was no longer willing to repeat past mistakes or settle for a love that didn't align with my newfound respect for myself. The greatest lesson I learned was the power of self-love. For so long, I had looked for validation and happiness in the eyes of others. I believed that being in a relationship was the ultimate measure of worth. But my journey through illness and recovery showed me that true, lasting happiness comes from within. I stopped chasing after affection and started cultivating it for myself. I learned to enjoy my own company, to celebrate my own achievements, and to be my own staunchest supporter. This shift was revolutionary. It freed me from the desperate need for external approval and anchored me in a sense of inner peace and confidence. Today, as I stand on the other side of these experiences, I carry a message of hope and resilience. Heartbreak does not have to break you, it can remake you. Moving on is not about forgetting the past, but about integrating its lessons to build a wiser, stronger future. I no longer chase love from others because I have found the most reliable and enduring love of all within myself. My story is one of survival, growth, and the beautiful realization that you are, and have always been, enough on your own. My happiness is no longer contingent on someone else's presence in my life. It is a state of being I have built for myself.